Imagine walking into your local corner shop, tapping a screen, and turning your Pi into cash. Or buying Pi with cash in seconds. No exchange account, no confusing charts, no waiting. That's the promise of Pi-enabled ATMs. A physical on-ramp and off-ramp that could make cryptocurrency feel as familiar as using a debit machine. If this launches in your city tomorrow, what's the very first thing you'd try, and who would you bring to see it work with their own eyes? Today we're diving deep into Pi Network's ATM vision and why it could be a turning point for real-world adoption. We'll unpack how these machines could work, why regulators and small businesses might actually welcome them, the roadblocks that could slow deployment, and the concrete indicators you should watch to separate hype from progress. And yes, we'll talk about what this means for utility, liquidity, and the value of the Pi you've been patiently mining as part of a 55 million strong pioneer community. At its core, a Pi ATM is a bridge between the digital and physical worlds. On the way out, a pioneer authenticates, authorizes a withdrawal, and receives local currency. On the way in, a newcomer inserts cash, completes a simple identity check where required, and receives Pi to a wallet they can use immediately. The genius isn't just the hardware, it's the workflow. With clear on-screen steps, strong fraud prevention, and optional KYC, AML where law demands it, even someone's grandmother can try crypto without downloading an exchange app or memorizing seed phrases. Familiar form factor, safer UX, instant comprehension. Why does this matter? Because access, not ideology, decides adoption. Most people don't change behavior for abstractions. They change when there's a physical place to go, a real person to ask for help, and a clear way to reverse a mistake. ATMs create that psychological trust anchor. For the unbanked or underbanked, they create an entry point to digital finance without traditional gatekeepers. For migrant workers and students across borders, they hint at cheaper, faster remittances and on-the-spot currency conversion. For small businesses, they promise new customers, lower payment friction, and, if an ATM sits nearby, confidence that Pi can be converted when needed. Under the hood, Pi's mobile-first design and community validation give this concept an edge. Transactions can be authorized quickly without energy-intensive mining, and identity can be verified in line with local rules while keeping user data private. Done right, every ATM transaction leaves a cryptographic audit trail that satisfies regulators and discourages bad actors, without forcing everyday users to become blockchain experts. It's compliance you don't have to think about, and security that's invisible but always on. Think about where this could land first. Regions with supportive regulators, strong pioneer density, and cooperative payment partners are natural pilots. University towns with international students, transport hubs with high remittance flows, high foot traffic. Retailers like convenience stores, fuel stations, and pharmacies. These are the places where visibility and repeat usage compound fastest. The business case is straightforward. More foot traffic, an extra service line, a slight revenue cut per transaction, and the halo effect of being the store that accepts Pi. Of course, ambition meets reality. There are real barriers, and facing them honestly makes this vision stronger. Regulatory clarity varies by country, and cash handling requires armored logistics, uptime SLAs, and anti-tamper protections. Liquidity has to be deep enough to honor withdrawals at predictable fees. UX must be intuitive for first-timers who've never used a crypto wallet. And merchant education has to be continuous. A single negative experience can spread faster than 10 good ones. That's where Pi's greatest asset, its community, changes the math. Pioneers can map neighborhoods to identify ideal pilot sites, onboard local merchants, host live demos, translate how to content, and provide feedback loops that normal marketing can't buy. Grassroots momentum de-risks rollouts because it keeps the plan honest. Deploy where people actually need it, not just where a spreadsheet looks pretty. Partnerships will make or break the timeline. A successful launch requires ATM manufacturers, payment processors, cash-in-transit providers, telecom connectivity for always-on uptime, KYC vendors who respect privacy, and governance guardrails that let the system scale without shortcuts. The sequencing matters. Start with controlled pilots, publish transparent metrics, add locations where usage proves out, and only then scale aggressively. That patient approach has defined Pi's development so far, and it's exactly what complex, real-world infrastructure demands. If you want a simple checklist to keep your expectations grounded, watch these signals. Are there official pilot announcements with specific cities and partners? Do we see clear fee schedules, daily limits, and uptime commitments? Are merchants within walking distance of pilot ATMs reporting repeat Pi transactions, not just first-day curiosity? Is there evidence of stable liquidity so withdrawals don't freeze during spikes? What percentage of new users complete KYC successfully on the first try, and how quickly do they make a second transaction? Real adoption leaves data trails. Look for those, not just headlines. Now, what might this mean for value? Prices follow utility over time. If Pi becomes easy to earn, spend, and convert, especially in communities that need modern payments the most, steady, non-speculative demand can emerge. That doesn't guarantee a straight line up, nothing in crypto does. But building for everyday use tends to compress volatility, deepen liquidity, and improve confidence, the conditions you need for sustainable appreciation rather than boom and bust cycles. Focus on the plumbing first, markets will notice. Let's make this interactive, because your lived reality is the roadmap that matters. If a Pi ATM launched in your area tomorrow, what's the first transaction you'd try and why? Which friend or family member who doesn't get crypto would you bring to try it, and what would you show them first? Look around your neighborhood. What business would benefit most if customers could easily convert Pi to cash nearby? And tell us the truth about your region. What barriers, regulation, awareness, cash logistics, connectivity, could slow adoption, and how could we as a community help fix them? To the incredible pioneers watching from Canada, Ghana, Indonesia, India, Papua New Guinea, the United States, Nigeria, the Philippines, Kenya, and everywhere in between. Your feedback isn't a comment, it's deployment intelligence. Type Pi network to the moon plus your country name so we can visualize where interest is strongest. Share one merchant you'd nominate for a pilot and one practical barrier we should solve next. If you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll keep tracking pilots, partners, and real-world usage with the same no-nonsense analysis you see today. This channel exists to separate shiny narratives from systems that actually work for real people. Pi's ATM vision is ambitious, but it tackles the exact friction that has held crypto back for a decade: access, clarity, and trust. If we get those right, decentralized finance stops being a buzzword and starts being the machine behind everyday life. Keep mining, keep building, and keep pushing for utility. The next chapter of adoption won't be written on a white paper. It'll be written at the shop down your street.